Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my WWE NXT review for July 12th, 2017. And I know I'm late on getting it up, but obviously everybody knows if you watch my channel update video, which you should click right up there. I always get it wrong, but you should click right up there to check it out. And yeah, I'm going to be. I was camping, obviously. I kind of zoned out, but I'm gonna keep going. But I'm here now to give you the review. Now, I already did watch the show. I watched it um, on the car ride when I was going to Six Flags slash other places. Um, and um, I'm just gonna give it another look though because I was kind of doing a lot of stuff as I was watching it, so I didn't really get to take it in as much as I wanted to. And there's some things that are on there that I think are worth another look. So I'm going to watch the show again, and this time around, as I do it, I'm gonna after each match or segment, I'll come on here and talk about it. Um, so that's how it's gonna work. I'm not really gonna do like a big preview or anything like that since I've already seen the show. But yeah, here's how I'm gonna structure this. I'm going to review NXT Insider all in one take, and then after each match or segment, I'll come on here and talk about it when I talk about the actual show, and then all the NXT exclusive if there were any, because sometimes there are some. I'll also do another take. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get right into it. Okay, so starting off with NXT Insider. Um, it was hosted by Kathy Kelly. Um, and uh, she talks about who could possibly face Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship. Um, and it shows that attack that Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane when they attacked Drew McIntyre from behind, and it shows a tweet from Drew McIntyre actually referencing his own theme songs, saying he wants a shot, saying, perhaps what's that metronome here? Perhaps the end is drawing near, that song, and I like that they did that because that song kind of fits so well with his career really when it comes to being a professional wrestler. So I think that's actually really well done. And then it shows like Bobby Roode laughing at him, saying that this is my NXT, I'm glorious. And then Killian Dane responds by saying that I forget exactly what the tweet was, but pretty much saying that he wants a shot also at the NXT Championship. So that's interesting right there. Um, then they have this new segment that they do called NXT Stock Watch, which is pretty much and it's hosted by Nigel McGuinness, and this is pretty much where he comes on and talks about who stock has risen over the past week, whose stock has fallen, and he says that Drew McIntyre's stock has risen because he is undefeated in NXT and hasn't lost a match, and he says that Cassius Ohno and Hideo Itami's stock has fallen because of them not being able to cooperate with each other and them losing matches. So I don't really mind that too much because it kind of keeps the angles fresh. They even showed that WWE.com exclusive interview that they did with Hideo Itami and Cassius Ohno. And then to end it off, we had an interview segment with Heavy Machinery since they're facing the Authors of Pain for the NXT Tag Team Championships. And Tucker Knight talked about how they're ready to take on the Authors of Pain, how they're two big dudes, and that this isn't like new territory for them. They've been in big situations before during the NCAA tournaments and stuff like that. And they said that they're going to be the team that finally takes down the Authors of Pain. And then Otis Dojovic just goes a star. I love Otis Dojovic. I think he's great. And Heavy Machinery, I think, is a good team. And then that was pretty much the end of the segment. Well, the end of NXT Insider. Overall, I thought NXT Insider was actually a pretty decent watch, and I enjoyed it. So nothing really else to say. Okay, so we had the actual show itself. We had Percy Watson, Mauro Ranallo, and Nigel McGuinness on commentary for this show, and We had the first match. It was Alistair Black versus the debut of Bobby Fish. Haven't seen any of his work, but I've heard of Bobby Fish. Um, and yeah, I had already known this was coming because I talked to my friend about it while I was at his Independence Day party, so I knew he was debuting at some point. Um, and he did. And yeah, he has this match, and this match I thought was good actually. I didn't expect it to really be a match. I expected it to be a squash, but this match ended up being good. I really enjoyed it. I don't. I might say really good actually. And they both start going for kicks on each other. Aleister Black hits like a big backflip on him, and then he immediately sits down in a crisscross applesauce position. I thought that was cool. Aleister Black hits a roundhouse kick right to the chest of Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish hits kicks on him. He hits a big boot right to his chest, and this causes Black to go up against the ropes. Um, Eventually, Alistair Black drives him out of the ring. He acts like he's going to hit a dive on the floor, but Alistair Black hits a backflip and sits down again, crisscross applesauce position, and then he tries to put Bobby Fish in the ring. Bobby Fish hangs him up on the top rope, gets him into a sleeper hold, and he holds it up until the 4 count. And then Bobby Fish hits like a leg sweep while he's on the outside. And Bobby Fish from this point really starts to target the injured leg of Alistair Black. He really goes after it. He hits a corkscrew, a dragon screw on him, and then he gets him into a half Boston Crab. Alistair Black reverses it into a roll up, and Bobby Fish kicks out of it. Bobby Fish gets him into a sleeper hold for a while. Alistair Black fights out time in and time out. Then eventually he hits a one jumping knee strike, and he goes to attack him in the corner. Bobby Fish reverses it into an exploder into the corner, covers him. Black kicks out, and then Bobby Fish starts to kind of rough him up a little bit, and this fires up Alistair Black. He hits a couple of roundhouse kicks to the shoulders, and then he hits a axe handle smash in the corner. Then he hits a Cabrera, and then he hits a running knee strike, and then he picks up Bobby Fish by just his leg and hits the Black Mass for the win. And Alistair Black wins the match, but I thought the match was really good. What I do kind of question why they would have Bobby Fish have his debut and lose, but I not mad about it really because you can't. It's kind of like a 50-50 booking type of thing. You can't really have you have Alistair Black is going on this dominant run. You can't really have him lose either. Plus, it's always Bobby Fish. Not everybody, like I said, needs to win their first match. Because that's just not believable. You don't just instantly come into somewhere and you end up being great at it. Normally, when you start a new job, um, it always takes time for you to finally figure out how to do that job. Um, so I kind of like the fact, you don't necessarily fact that maybe they could tell a little bit of a story where Bobby Fish wants to get that first big win and then he finally gets it. If that's where they're going. Plus, you can always have Bobby Fish. I don't think he'll be enhancement talent. I think they know he's a pretty big name. I definitely think he will. Make after NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3, he will be a big star for NXT. I just think he's not going to be enhancement talent, but he'll be kind of like in a role where he'll come on and have great matches at first. But I definitely see him being a big star in NXT, and I really wouldn't mind that at all. But overall, I thought this match was really good. I thought Bobby Fish looked pretty strong in this match. He was able to showcase his ability. And Alistair Black, I thought, looked really strong when he won. So overall, I like this. Okay, so next, we see like this vignette for the street profits. They're pretty much criminals, I guess. They have like these Snapchat stories about how they think that they're VIPs, um, and how they go to like the VIP lounge, and people ask them, "Hey, are you supposed to be here?" And then they're like, "Hey, are you supposed to be here?" And then when they go to the VIP lounge, the alarm system goes off, and yeah, so I guess they're supposed to be like street thugs. Um, it's a gimmick that's been done before, and it's worked pretty well. And I think that this could work as a different type of gimmick for NXT. I think that could work. I guess they're going to be heels. It looks like. And like I said, you do need tag teams because in the tag team division, um, Since because the Authors of Pain pretty much just beaten every team. So I think I'm actually fine with this, and I think this team actually looks pretty promising. I think this could be a pretty good team for NXT. I'm gonna kind of wait and see how it goes, but I think they're good. They could be a good team. So I'm gonna, like I said, wait and see how it goes. Okay, so next, Caleb Braxton attempts to interview the Velveteen Dream just outside, and when he went left when he was leaving at first, he just thinks that she's a fan. But then she says who she is. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." Um, when she tries to interview him, but then he's like, "Did you think this was an appropriate setting for this?" And he's like, "Well, I was interviewing other superstars." And then he's like, "See, that's where you're wrong, because I'm not other superstars." And then he tells her to figure something else out, and he leaves. I thought this was terrible. Everybody knows I don't care for the Velveteen Dream character. It's just, I think, pretty bad, so I'm not down for that. Okay, so we had the next match. It was a Mae Young Classic tournament qualifying match. Vanessa Bourne versus Jamie Hashi. Um, yeah, I like the idea of promoting the Mae Young Classic by having these qualifying matches. Um, and this gives me my chance to promote. Be sure to tune in either tonight or tomorrow for my Mae Young Classics update number 3. I will link it um, right here when I finally have it uploaded because I will be covering, doing my update about what's to come in the tournament this coming in August. So make sure you guys check that out. Now let me talk about this match. Um, I didn't think this match was good, actually. I didn't like this match. It was just sloppy and just eh. Um, they start chain wrestling each other. Um, Jamie Hashi just sits there for like a while and waits for Vanessa Bourne to kick her right in the spine. I thought that looked pretty bad. And then Jamie Hashi hits a sidewalk slam. She dominates the matchup for a while. Then Vanessa Bourne makes like a little bit of a comeback, hits a drop kick, and then just drops her. Hit she hit. I don't even know the name of this move, but she just picks her up and drops her, covers her, and gets the win. So Vanessa Bourne's going to now be in one of the 32 competitors that are going to be in the Mae Young Classics tournament. Still looking forward to watching that tournament in August. I just didn't think that this match was a good way to really showcase that. Not really NXT's fault. It's the competitor's fault for not putting on a better match. Um, but I gotta say though, the Vanessa Bourne's theme song I think is awesome. I really enjoy that song. I think that's a really great song. I've listened to it like about 30 times, so great song. Okay, so next, Bobby Roode and William Regal are backstage, and William Regal's talking about how since Bobby Roode's the NXT champion, a lot of challengers are lining up to challenge him for that NXT championship. Two of the people, the undefeated Drew McIntyre and the undefeated Killian Dane. So Bobby was just like, "Look, we're both businessmen here. You and I both know that I would beat those two guys any day of the week, but let's make some money." And he suggests William Regal makes a match between Drew McIntyre and Killian Dane to see what happens. Um, and William Regal's like, well, gets suspicious and thinks, and is like, you're not interested just to see them beat the hell out of each other, so that way they couldn't face you for the NXT Championship. And Bobby was like, come on, you know me better than that. But William Regal's like, but I agree. I think that is an interesting matchup. Um, and he announces that that match will take place next week, and whoever wins that match will face Bobby Roode at NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3 for the NXT Championship, and that was it. I'm looking forward to that match. I expect Drew McIntyre to win that match, and he's going to be the one to face Bobby Roode and probably defeat Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship and NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. And I kind of can't wait to see a feud between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Roode. And I can't wait to see them get in the ring against each other because I don't think they've ever been in the ring against each other before. So can't wait to see it. Okay, so next, Johnny Gargano returns, and he comes out. The fans are chanting at him, "Welcome back" and stuff. and he says that he's missed that, and he talks about how the fans and the wrestling win are irreplaceable. But he says we all know what happened at NXT Takeover Chicago about how his best friend, his tag team opponent that he took a bullet for, turned his back on him, and he talks about how he doesn't. And he wants to know why, and he says that he doesn't get it, and he says that he'll never understand it, and he doesn't think he ever will. But he says that he doesn't want to dwell on the past. He says that there are some things that happen that you can't control, but it's how you. But what you can control is how you react to them. And he says that NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. Says that he has to be there, and he says that he has to go back to being Johnny Gargano, but more importantly, Johnny Wrestling. And then, because at first when he came out to the hashtag DIY theme song. But then when the segment ends, he comes out to like his own theme song. So it looks like what happened, from what I got from this, is Johnny Gargano morphed from being Johnny Gargano to back to being Johnny Wrestling, which I think is actually kind of cool. And kind of like, and if it's not, then I don't know what this is. But I kind of like how they went into that direction. Now, obviously, everyone's gonna probably be pissed that they didn't really do as much of a follow up with the breakup of hashtag DIY. Well, here's why. Kind of cheesy, but the main reason is because Tommaso Ciampa is gonna be out with ACL surgery, so he's gonna probably be out about 8 months. He'll probably be back. I hear by 2018, so they can't really do a whole lot to follow up on it. Um, Now, I still am behind the breakup. Everybody doesn't like the breakup because of that reason. Now, I don't know if that's why they did the breakup, because Tommaso Ciampa got hurt, so maybe they needed to find a way to get him out of television. I really don't know why. Um, I don't know if that's necessarily the reason. I still, like I talked about, I'm still behind the breakup. Hashtag DIY did everything that they could do in NXT as a tag team. And I think it was finally time for them to break up. I think they did everything they could do. And why not get more mileage out of hashtag DIY? Maybe have one big feud that could be great. I think that would be awesome, actually. And NXT can't really afford to lose talent. You could call them up, but NXT's kind of, they still have some big stars down there, but I think it would be a huge blow if you lost both Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I think that actually would be a pretty huge blow. What I am upset about, though, is all these matches on the main roster that hashtag DIY could have as a team we're not going to see now. But we technically have seen them, because all the teams that are on the mainstream WWE roster, at least most of them, um, they did wrestle when they were in NXT. So I guess I can understand that. I definitely am fully behind though the breakup. You're not going to convince me, and I fully behind it. You can definitely still pick this feud up. You can always have Johnny Wrestling now go after the NXT Championship, and Tommaso Ciampa returns and costs him the NXT Championship to kind of restart that feud. You could always have Johnny Wrestling win the NXT Championship, and then Tommaso Ciampa comes back and they feud over the NXT Championship. You could always have Johnny Wrestling go up to the main roster, and you have Tommaso Ciampa and be a member part of the cruiserweight division, win the cruiserweight championship. Tommaso Ciampa takes out Johnny Wrestling, and they fight over the cruiserweight championship. Really bring some credibility into the cruiserweight championship. If that did happen, though, I wouldn't really be behind that, because then with how WWE books the cruiserweight division, that feud wouldn't really get the type of treatment that it deserves. I think they should just keep that feud down in NXT. Maybe eventually, if you want to have them fight over the cruiserweight championship, then fine. But I just don't think. I just think since it's in the cruiserweight division, it won't get nearly the level of intensity that it will get down in NXT. So that's my whole thoughts on this segment. But I thought the segment was really well done. About Johnny Wrestling was very good here, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for Johnny Wrestling. Okay, so then we had the main event. It was an NXT Tag Team Championship match. NXT Tag Team Champions, the Authors of Pain, with Paul Ellering ringside versus Heavy Machinery. They even had this match build. I actually should have had it ready on my phone, but I didn't. Just give me a second. They even did like a tail of the tape, and I kind of just want to read it real quick before I talk about the match. So, if you look at the Authors of Pain and Heavy Machinery compared the tail of the tapes, uh, you know, if you think about it, Tucker Knight is 6'2" and Otis Dojovic is 5'10". They're at a combined weight of 650 pounds because Tucker Knight's 320 pounds and Otis Dojovic is 300 pounds. The Authors of Pain, Akam's 6'3" and Rizzo's also 6'3". Akam, and they're at a combined weight of 555 pounds, and that means Akam's 290 pounds and Rizzo's 265 pounds, and the total mass that was in the ring was one was 1,205 pounds, or 1,205 pounds. So this match was literally probably the biggest tag team match ever to take place in NXT. It's crazy. I like that we got to see that type of match because normally we only see like guys that are just the indie stars wrestling all the time in NXT. So this was kind of like a night, and whether the action's fast paced, it was kind of like um, a nice change of pace to see just two powerhouse tag teams just really go at it. I thought that was awesome. And yeah, this was literally probably the biggest match to ever take place in NXT. And let's talk about this match. So Akam and Tucker Knight start off the match. They start chain wrestling each other. Akam gets the upper hand on him. He starts hitting a bunch of right hands in the corner. Eventually, Tucker Knight backs off, and Akam and Rizal then Rizal and Otis Dojovic get tagged in, and Rizal and Otis have like a little bit of a face off with each other. Rizal tries to hit a clothesline on Otis Dojovic, but he just no sells it, and he does this. He tries again, but he no sells it again, and then he goes to bounce off the ropes, and Otis Dojovic just shoves Rizal, and he ends up falling flat on his ass, and Rizal is all surprised about this, and afterwards, the Authors of Pain and Heavy Machinery have a face-off with each other, and then eventually, the Authors of Pain are able to gain control when Akam pulls down the top rope that sends Tucker Knight crashing to the floor. So the Authors of Pain get the heat on him. They hit double knee strikes in the corner onto Knight, and Rizal hits like a ton of just a bunch of right hands, just really firing away on Tucker Knight, and then they hit a sidewalk slam double stomp combo off the second turnbuckle on him, and eventually Rizal goes to go off the ropes. Tucker Knight hits a clothesline on him, and then Otis Dojovic got the hard tag. He starts going off on both members of the Authors of Pain, just really taking them out. He hits a overhead belly to back suplex on one of them, and then he hits a scoop slam, a power slam on I think the other one, and then a double team body slam on I believe it was Akam, and covers him. It gets broken up, and then Tucker Knight hits a clothesline outside the ring onto Akam, and then Rizal hits a DDT on Otis Dojovic, and then the Authors of Pain get tagged in, and they hit the last chapter for the win, and they retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. I thought this was actually a good match here. Really enjoyed it. Thought both teams looked dominant, but obviously you can't have the Authors of Pain lose yet. I think they should go a full year just as a dominant reign as NXT Tag Team Champions, and afterwards the Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering are celebrating, and then who comes out? None other than Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane, and Nikki Cross. And before the show goes off the air, you see Paige's just ripped up pages as if it's supposed to be the book of dominance of the Authors of Pain, and that was it. I like the ending of the show, and now we're gonna get. It looks like two members of Sanity, whether that's I'm not sure who it's gonna be, versus the Authors of Pain for the NXT Tag Team Championships. I guess the two members of Sanity would be Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane. That seems to make logical sense. But I would like to see Eric Young get in there somehow. Just the question I have though is, where's Eric Young been? He hasn't been on NXT in a few weeks, and Sanity's been on the show, but he hasn't shown up. I don't even remember the last time he's been on the show. And another thing I want to mention is when the Authors of Pain hit the last chapter on Otis Dojovic. I don't think Mo Ronaldo knew what the name of the move was because he just called it a leg sweep clothesline combo. I mean, he called it the right move, but I don't think he actually knew the name of the finisher because he's still kind of new to technically to NXT. Um, but yeah, he still did a good job calling it. I just wanted to mention that. But overall, I like this main event, and yeah, I thought it was pretty enjoyable. And I like what they did building up to a possible Sanity versus Authors of Pain feud. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. Okay, so then we had the NXT exclusives, and Kayla Braxton first interviews Vanessa Bourne, and she talks about how she's feeling about being able to participate in the Mae Young Classics tournament. She talks about how she's really looking forward to winning, how she's looking forward to winning, and then later on she interviews Bobby Fish, and he talks about how he's been looking forward to coming into NXT, and the one thing he's not is that he's not a quitter, and if anybody wants to see what he's capable of, they can step into the ring with him, and he says that he's going to look back on this loss and review the films and see what he did wrong. And he says that the next time he gets back into the ring, he's not going to make the same mistake twice. So overall, I thought Vanessa Bourne cut a pretty solid promo. I thought she would be a heel, but I guess not. And I thought Bobby Fish cut a pretty good promo himself. Okay, so now I'm going to give you guys my star ratings for each match and then my overall thoughts on this show. Uh, for the singles match, I thought that was actually a really good match. I'm going to give that match 3.5 stars. I thought that was just a really good back and forth match. For the Mae Young Classics tournament qualifying match, I'm going to give that match 1 star. It just wasn't really that good of a match. It was sloppy, and I just didn't really think it was good. I personally just didn't care much for it. And then for the NXT Tag Team Championship match, I'm going to give that match probably 3 stars. Um, Thought that was a good NXT Tag Team Championship match. Really put over both teams. It was a good big man match, and the right person went over in the end. Um, and my overall thoughts on the show is I actually thought this was actually a pretty good episode of NXT. I don't know if it wasn't a great episode. I would say maybe this was like a really good episode, actually. I liked the opening matchup with the singles match. I liked the setup of building up to the NXT Championship #1 contenders match next week. I liked the idea of promoting the Mae Young Classic. I just didn't like the match that they had. What else did I like on this show? Um, I liked the NXT Tag Team Championship match. There's other things I liked on the show. I just don't have it written down on me. I like also I love the return of Johnny Gargano and him morphing into Johnny Wrestling. I thought that was an awesome segment. I thought Johnny Gargano delivered himself really well with the promo, and I really enjoyed that. Probably the best thing on the show. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good episode here. If I had to rate it, I probably rated a 7.5 out of 10. I thought that was actually a good overall episode, and I can't wait to watch NXT for this week since it's Sunday now. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to my CM Brothers and Owen the Talkinator YouTube channels because I just uploaded some videos on there. And make sure to subscribe to this channel for more content. That's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.